Hello, and welcome to another video. Thanks so much for joining me. As always, if you're watching on replay, #replay, let me know that you saw this video. If you've got questions, please feel free to post a question in the comments or shoot me through a message. Now, while I'm recording this video live on Facebook, it is the month of May, and we're celebrating we're not celebrating national anything. That was last month. Last month was National Scrapbooking. This month, we have Close to My Heart has a Stamptacular going on, which is a massive sale of stamps. This particular stamp is not on sale. This is the stamp of the month, and I've explained what a stamp of the month is, but I just wanted to show you this stamp and this card to show you some of the things that you can actually do with stamps. Now, it might be a little bit scary, and I'm not going to do it on camera. I might do this another day because I'm going to be showing you a technique. I just pointed at the technique today, but you can actually, with these photopolymer stamps, you can cut them. So this, let me just bring this back. This is one full stamp. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7 stamps on this carrier sheet. This one here I have actually cut. So there's a single word, which I then put onto, careful where I put that, onto this card. So you can see there, relax. I just wanted to stamp relax there, and I wanted a little bit of space around it, so I cut the stamp. These stamps you can do that with because they are, it's not easy to do for the first time, I will admit that. The first time you cut your stamp, it's not that easy. Now, if you don't want to do that, you can also just stamp the entire length of the stamp, like I did with this one here, and then you can fussy cut. If you don't like fussy cutting, that's okay. Don't fussy cut. But it's not that hard, and if you're sitting watching telly and it's a bit of a boring movie, it's always a good thing to do. Now, with these, I did colour them in. Be aware, though, colour in before you fussy cut, because it's a lot easier to colour in on a larger piece of paper than it is on this sort of thing where it's teeny tiny. All right, so that's just something else about stamps that you may not have known, that you can actually cut your stamps. What I wanted to show you today, though, was this fantastic, it's called a twisted ribbon effect. Now, I've used it here on a card, and I wanted to show you how to do it, but you can also use it on a scrapbook page. Here I have a different size scrapbook page, and these fit in our, in the Close to My Heart 8.5 by 11 inch albums, but they also fit, the memory protectors also fit in our 12 by 12 albums. It just gives you a little bit of variety in your albums. So if you've only got one photo that you want to pop on a page, rather than being on a full 12 by 12 album, you might like to put it on a smaller page. And that's what I've done with this one. And if I flip it over, you'll see I just had 2 photos. Again, I didn't want it on a full page. There's no story or anything to go with this. So I have put it onto an 8.5 by 11 page. Now, just to note, if you do buy these memory protectors, when you're cutting down your paper to go inside this, cut it to 8 3/4 by 11 inches, because 8.5 is a bit skinny, but they are considered 8.5 by 11. Now, I wanted to do a feature on this page, and I decided to do this twisted ribbon effect. So let me talk you through it. You need a 1/2 inch for what I'm going to show you. That's what I should say. For what I've used a 1/2 inch, and I've got a 12-inch zip strip. So this is a zip strip, and I'm going to cut this into the pieces that you need. I'm just going to pause for a minute and say good morning to those who are watching live. So good morning to Michelle and Karen. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning. I hope you are both well. So I've used a 1/2 inch piece, and it's really important to note whatever width of paper you use, I'm going to leave it there for the moment. So 1/2 inch piece. Now, for my particular little twisted ribbon piece, yes, Charlotte's lost her words again. I'm using a 1 3/4 inch width piece of paper. I've already cut this down to 11 inches because that's going to fit on my page. So this is 11 inches, and this is 1 3/4 inch. You can play around and make it different widths. I haven't done that yet. But for 1 3/4 inch wide piece that I'm decorating, which is the same as on the card, you need some 2-inch long pieces of your pattern paper. Now, I mentioned that this was a Close to My Heart zip strip, which was great because I could look on the back and see what colours match with this. Two of the colours were New England Ivy and Sugar Plum. So I've grabbed some New England Ivy cardstock, which is this. I've cut this to 2 inches wide. Now I may end up cutting it down a little bit more, but that's 2 inches wide and I can mount that on that. I don't want it to be like the card where it shows at the top and bottom. I actually, on my page, just want it to go up flush with the top of the page. I may cut it down a bit more and have a smaller border. I'll just wait and see when I've got it all finished. The next thing you want to do for a 1 3/4 inch wide piece is cut these into 2 inches. So this is 12 inches. I'll get 6 pieces. Now in the video that I watched when they were doing it, they said you need 2 1/4 wide or 2 1/4 long pieces, and that really annoys me because it doesn't then give me 6 pieces. It gives me 5 and some leftover. I tried it with 2 inches and it worked a treat. Let's see, hopefully I get it done again. Now I'm using my photo trimmer just because it's a nice easy tool to use, and I discovered something today. If I cut 2 inches off, and this may help you, I don't know, it might not, but if I cut 2 inches off, let's see if I cut this right while I'm talking. So I've cut 2 inches, then I cut 4 inches. This might speak to somebody. Cut that at 2 inches. I just found that this makes it easier to cut. You can use your trimmer, that's fine. Then if I cut it again at 4 inches, I've got my last 2 inch piece, and it's just a nice easy way to cut this. So if that speaks to someone, that's good. What I have though is I've cut, so for this piece, which is, let me just quickly measure it, it's 5 1/4 inches long. I needed 1 2 3 4 5 6, 1 2 3 4 5. So 6 pieces of the top paper and 5 pieces of the bottom paper. Knowing that I'm doing a longer piece of paper, I have cut up 2 12-inch pieces. So there's my 2 12-inch pieces of that. And I've also cut up a full 2 12-inch pieces of some Sugar Plum glitter paper because I thought glitter paper might be nice on this. All right, so the next thing is I'm actually going to put adhesive on a heap of these because I find it quicker and easier to do that. Now, I'm thinking I'm not going to need the last 2, but we'll see how I go. And I'm using one of the old adhesives because that's what I could put my hands on about 2 minutes ago. So I'm just going to put adhesives, which I probably could have done before I started the video, but let's have a chat. Can I chat and do this at the same time? I have to say that Close to My Heart have a range of different adhesives. I know that a lot of people use the double-sided tape, and that's great. I think use whatever you are comfortable using. I personally really love tape runners. I really loved this particular tape runner when it was in stock, and I was a little bit disappointed when they said that they are running these out of stock. However, they brought in the Tombow Air Touch, whatever you want to call it, and I love it even more. It's quiet and it sticks and it's really nice. All right, so I've got that done. Now this is the really important part to take note of. You can do this 2 ways. I'm going to wing it because that's just how I work. You can go along and mark on your cardstock every 1/4 inch. So starting from the top, I'm actually going to turn my cardstock this way. You can do it this way, but because it's a fairly long piece, I'm going to turn it this way. So you can mark with a pencil a 1/4 inch from the top and then every 1/4 inch. Is that right? No, so a 1/4 inch from the top and then every 1/2 inch. And then from this, you mark every 1/2 inch from the top, or you can just start sticking, which is what I'm going to do. So my first piece that I'm going to stick starts from this top piece here and comes down So the top of this piece starts at the top there and comes down. So the top of this goes down 1/4 inch. Hopefully that makes sense. So the top here at the top, so right on the corner, and it comes down, that's a 1/2 inch, sorry, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. So this is 1/2 inch wide, you come down 1/2 inch. If this were 1/4 inch wide, you come down 1/4 inch. Then we come down from the bottom, we come down another 1/2 inch. And from there we come down 1/2 inch. Now you can see these are only just fitting on the paper, which is probably why they said cut 2 1/4 inch, just to give yourself that little bit of extra room. But I'm happy with it doing that. And I'm just going to keep sticking. So that's 1/2 inch, that's 1/2 inch. And although it looks like it's sticking out a lot over there, it's only just meeting on there. So we keep going down 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch. The other thing that I found was a few people were putting lighter paper on. I just need to make sure that's straight, sorry, just concentrate. A few people were putting lighter paper in the background of their twisted ribbon design. For me, I've chosen to use a darker colour because I think it makes it look more like a twisted ribbon. So for me, anything in the background tends to be darker. But again, totally up to you. So we keep going with this all the way down. Pressing down as I go. And I just love the Close to My Heart glitter paper. Sugar Plum is not available anymore. It is quite an old colour, but I had a little bit of scrap left and it goes well with this paper suite, which is great. But I love the Close to My Heart glitter paper because it doesn't come off on your fingers. It does not make any messes. Now I do need another piece. So we'll sticky that up, make sure that's still straight. And that has then gone all the way down to the bottom. Next, excuse me. Next, we take our paper and I'm going to put sticky on all of these. And you can see by me putting sticky on them first, putting sticky on all of them first, it just makes the whole process so much faster. Whereas if I was stopping and putting sticky on, it would be a lot slower. So sticky all of these up. As I mentioned, we have this, not this tape runner, we don't have this tape runner anymore. I just have some refills left over, so I'm using them up. And then these, unfortunately, will go in the bin. And the reason Close to My Heart discontinued using these wasn't because of any decision they made. It was actually because Tombow stopped making these and they brought out a new tape runner. So we now have the Tombow Air Touch, I don't know, the Tombow tape runner, but not this one. And yes, I've got some sticky on my thumb. And we also have the Close to My Heart tape runner, which is that one there. I tend not to use that too much because I like the fact that this one is refillable. I haven't worked out the cost. I know with last time with this one, this was a little bit more expensive. Haven't worked out the cost with the new, the Tombow Air, but that for another day. Okay, so then when we start on the next piece, we're going to start at the top right. So this is actually going to go this way. We're going to start at the top right and come down. This time we don't really need to measure. All we need to do is go, the bottom goes on I'm just looking at my paper. So the bottom goes there. Yes, the bottom goes to the top corner. And then the bottom goes over the top of the glitter paper. Now I have to make sure that that is actually going to stick, because that's the one thing about glitter paper, that it doesn't like every single glue, but it is sticking nicely. So with this one, we're going, so the top of this piece goes to the top of there, and the bottom goes to the bottom of there, and there we have the crisscross. So top to top and bottom to bottom. And I'm just going to lift that up and swivel it around a bit more. Like so. So again, we're coming down 1/2 inch each time, and this one also comes down 1/2 inch each time. There's that one. I think it's actually top to top and top to top. So top to top, that's what it is, and then top to top. Nope, that moved. I'll continue through so that you can see what it looks like at the end. So top to top, okay, and then top to top. Yes, that's how it's meant to be. There we go. All right, so the top of this to the top of that one, and then the top of this one in line with the top of that one. Now what's happening is it's then moving a little bit just because it's not sticking immediately to the glitter paper. But there we have it. You will get bits sticking out the side, which you can see there. But that's okay, because then we come along and we trim them off. So if you're wanting to do this, have a go at this, you can always do it at 2 1/4 inches and have a little bit more hanging off. But as I said, the reason I haven't done that is because I don't like it when you're not using the full amount of your paper. So you're not using the full 12 inches of the paper. Come on, darling. I'm really trying to get that right on that edge, because this one then goes right on that edge. And I will play around a little bit and see about different widths at some point. Not sure when exactly. But I know that if your paper, I watched a couple of videos, and if your paper, so this paper is wider than 1/2 inch, then you come down more than 1/2 inch. So our last one, we need to go from here. Let's just get that lined up. It's very spiky on the edges because the glitter paper is quite thick. We go from here down to that bottom corner there, stick that on, and that's all nice and sticky. And there we have a very, very pretty ribbon that looks very sticky outy. I'm just going to grab my trimmer. Now I'm cutting through glitter paper, and I know that this blade is actually a bit of a blunt one, which is good because cutting through glitter paper, it's going to blunten the blade anyway. So I'm going to flip that over, and that way I'll be able to see exactly where I'm cutting. I don't want to put my paper down to the bottom because the whole thing is uneven. I could cut the top and bottom off to make it even, but with my paper trimmer I can actually see exactly where I'm cutting because of the wire, which is fantastic. I love my Fiskars wire trimmer. All right, so it's going to be very thick like me. And I'm not going to show you the outcome. I'm not even going to look at the outcome until I've cut all the bits off. So I'll turn that around, move that up to the top again, take those bits off. This is so exciting. Thank you so much for joining me today too, and watching along. I hope that you have this give this technique a go, because it is a lot of fun. If you do, feel free to put up a picture of what you created, or you can send me a picture. Let me know if you're happy for me to put it up. It's a bit hard to post on this page, so head on over to my group, which is Charlotte's Scrap and Chat. There's a direct link at the top, the button at the top of this page. If you're on my Facebook page, will take you straight to my group, and pop a picture in there. Just going to take the top off and show us what you created. That would be amazing. I can hear it started to rain again. How lovely for me. Top and bottom. And then let's see the transformation. Are you ready? There you have it. How beautiful is that? I'm going to put it that way so it actually goes all the way across. And then if I pull this out, I can then work out where I'm putting this on my page. And it's a little bit lost, so by just grounding it, I'm going to use the light side of that, just grounding it on this, there you go, and then I can put a bit of a title or something on there and decorate that page up a bit more. So there you have, that is how you do a twisted ribbon, and how fantastic does that look with the glitter paper underneath. Absolutely sensational. Ladies, thank you so much for watching today. I hope you've enjoyed this one. I do hope that you give that a go. You don't have to use glitter paper. As you can see in this card, I used a zip strip just because I have a lot hanging around, and I just used black cardstock. You can use 2 different shades of cardstock, 2 different pattern papers, whatever you like, but do have a go. It's a lot of fun. Hope you have a fantastic day today. I will catch you in the next one. For now, stay safe, keep crafting, and bye for now.